Ready?
Eddie Hearn, Boxing UK. How are you doing?
Good. Bit tired, but it seemed like a good idea when I booked in the press conference for the day after getting back from Mexico. But I weren't going to miss this one, and it's an important show. You know, not just because it's a really good card, but it's Newcastle again. And I feel that we was on such a good run last time with a Patera fight, and obviously when it didn't work out, it was a bit of a kick in the nuts. And a lot of people saying to me, "Oh, I suppose that's it for Newcastle now." I said, "No, I promise we'll be back because the fans have been good to us, and the atmosphere that you guys create is incredible." So it's really good to come back with a card that everybody's talking about. Pre-sale yesterday was massive. The orders just coming in from the fighters tell me it's going to be a sellout. So 2 really good domestic fights, and a lot more to be added as well. Actually, someone said to me, "Is it just these 2 fights on the card?" I went, no. But these 2 are, they're really, really important fights. Obviously for Lewis Ritson and Robbie Davis, and also Ted Cheeseman against Fitzgerald, who I'll represent both of them. I was thinking Preston, London. I thought, do you know what? Just put in a neutral venue. Both their fans travel, and everybody in boxing appreciates how good a fight that is. So it doesn't really matter where you put that fight. May the best man win.
So before we move on to Newcastle, any summary of Mexico?
Really good, yeah. I mean, Estrada was great. I mean, he's like pound for pound slow. There's 12,000 people in the arena. Talk about Newcastle atmosphere. Very similar. I mean, the noise, everything, the energy. He was great. Want to make him against Yafai next in the unification. Liam Smith looked great. John O'Carroll, good win. Hergovic was really good. Chakram Girsov, who's our Uzbek fighter, who's fantastic. First round knockout at Darlis Perez. So it was really good. It was a great experience out there. Their boxing knowledge is second to none. Like, they're all there when the doors open, the fans, they're enjoying themselves, and it was great. So real good experience promoting out there, and good win for Juan Estrada.
And when did you get back?
Got back yesterday afternoon. So I was so tired last night, and then I couldn't get to sleep. I was thinking all day. I was thinking, let's go to sleep. And I knew I had to be up at 6. So I was like, don't oversleep, and then end up having a shit sleep. But had a little 40 winks on the train up here, so I'm good. And obviously we've got Lomachenko Campbell this Saturday, so mad times at the moment. But it's just you're able just to go with it because you don't really get a chance to sit down and say, I'm tired. You just sort of go event to event, press conference to press conference, and this is a show this weekend with Lomachenko Campbell. I'm very proud about because you're bringing a pound for pound great here and trying to dethrone him with Luke Campbell. I know it's a big task, but he's got the ability at least to do it. But can he do it is another question, which we'll find out on Saturday. But what a card, Fury Povetkin. There's not really been a day that's gone past since I made that fight where I haven't thought about that fight, if that makes sense. Like, every day, he can't beat Povetkin, can he? And then I think, what did that Fury, the Joshua defeat take out of him? And, be a major, like, everyone thinks he's mad taking the fight. If he won it, everyone would think he's a genius.
Which one do you think was the Nevis, the 50-50 Eddie?
Povetkin again, I think that as much as I really believe Luke Campbell has a great chance, on paper, it's hard for Lomachenko not to be an overwhelming favourite against anyone. On paper, I see that fight as a 70-30 fight, Lomachenko Campbell, and with my Campbell heart on, a 60-40. But I just believe that he has a great chance to do it. He needs a little bit of help. He needs to be perfect. Lomachenko, if he could just pick up a little bit of those niggling injuries that he keeps getting in every fight. He is getting on a bit now in terms of ring time, not really in terms of age, but things have got to go your way in fights like that,
Do you share the confidence of someone like George Groves, who just seems like
Groves is, I mean, that gives me so much confidence, if you like. But George knows boxing much better than I know boxing, and he sees him day in, day out, and he says to me, Eddie, he's going to beat him, and I'm like, do you think so? I'm like, I'm hoping. I can't sit here and tell you he's going to win the fight. I'm hoping, and I honestly believe he can do it. But am I 100% convinced? Obviously not. He's fighting Lomachenko, but George is. But he's not just saying it for a laugh. So he sees that, and I know how good Luke. You've only got to look at Luke's resume. Speak to Shane McGuigan, speak to Rob McCracken. He's a quality fighter. I do believe this will be the toughest fight of Lomachenko's career, either way. But sometimes he just turns it up and he just.
The Linares fight's probably the benchmark a lot of people look at.
Well, for me, Luke Campbell nicked that fight. I was there, obviously. Either way, it was one round in it either way, right? He got knocked down in a bit of a flash knockdown. If he wouldn't have got knocked down, he wins the fight, right? He was not 50% of where he's at now. Mentally, like in terms of as as a fighter in terms of his preparation. And the one thing I will say is, where he's at now, there's not been one moment in his career where I'd have preferred him to take the Lomachenko fight compared to now. He won't be any better. You know, Shane's done a brilliant job. Tactically, they know where they are for this fight. Mentally, he knows where he are. You know, he lost his father a couple of weeks before that Linares fight. It wasn't even in the game. He didn't believe he could win. You know, everything's changed now. But he's fighting Lomachenko, unfortunately for Luke Campbell.
But this from the camp, Eddie, you know how preparation?
Only really good. I spoke to Luke this morning. He said I've had a great camp, so I've been recovering all weekend. Weight with Luke, you know, he doesn't drink, he don't stuff his face. He comes into camp at the right weight. His weight's been perfect throughout. He'll make the final weight this week. Lomachenko obviously makes lightweight easy. You've got the workout tomorrow night, and your course going to be packed, because real fight fans, like when I put this fight on sale, 18,000 at the O2, and I'm thinking, Lomachenko's a legend, but will there be 18,000 people that will want to come and watch him? And the answer was bosh, straight away. So you realise actually that he does break through to that casual market, but the fight fans won't miss it. Like this is normally the other way around. Normally the casual fans all come to our shows, and the fight fans moan that the casual fans want to come to our shows. This is one that's different, where the fight fans will all be tuned in, and they'll all be in the arena as well. So and it's a one-off. You'll never see Lomachenko fight in the UK again.
So you might not get booed on Saturday then, Eddie?
I'll definitely get booed on Saturday, don't worry, I'll definitely get booed. I don't care, if Luke Campbell knocks him out, I don't care, you can boo me, throw things at me, whatever you want to do. Well actually, don't throw things at me.
It would be up there, we were talking earlier, it would be up there with Hooligan and Curry?
Yes. I mean, I've heard that so many times when we've had fighters in fights that they're not expected to win. Oh, this would be the greatest British victory of all time, but yeah, it would be, you know, I mean, it would. When you talk about like Cooper Ali and Minter against Hagler, you know, if they would have won, Lomachenko is of the same ilk as those guys, Hagler, Ali, Leonard, and people probably go, oh, steady on. No, he is. He's pound for pound number one. So were those guys when they were fighting. It's only history now propels those guys in a different light. But pound for pound, number one in the sport at that time, that's Lomachenko. So, you know, and we've brought Golovkin here before, we've brought Terence Crawford here before. This is a bit different. This is a guy in his absolute prime who is unquestionably, I mean, him and Canelo, number one, but I see Lomachenko as pound for pound number one. So,
what do you see as the best fight in the world?
Well, someone was laughing because when Jacobs boxed Canelo, they said, you said Canelo was pound for pound number one. Now you're saying Lomachenko's pound for pound number one. I said, yeah, obviously, because I'm promoting Lomachenko fight. yeah. But it's like that, isn't it? But I just think, in terms of skill, and like Canelo lost the first Triple G fight, probably lost the second fight, where that one was close. So he's been beaten. I know Lomachenko lost to Salido. That wasn't his second fight. He's looked unbeatable, really. That's the difference. So, you know, and Canelo, I think Billy Joe Saunders can beat Canelo, right? I think Callum Smith can beat Canelo. So, but who do you see beating Lomachenko? Can Campbell do it? Maybe. The way Lomachenko may get beat in time is to keep moving up the weight classes and eventually just, you know, people keep saying, I saw an article on Sky Sports, Salido says you just got to overwhelm him, and he's strong, Lomachenko. Like,
is that Campbell style as well, though?
Not really, no, but but you can't afford to stand off him. Like Crawler, again, different styles, but what Crawler done, he stood off him too much. But it's easy saying that, isn't it? When you get in there, what you do, hunt him down, you're getting smacked everywhere from different angles. So you can't be reckless, but you can't let him dictate the pace, because he will harass you and he will torment you, and he will quickly figure you out if he feels like he's stalking you, and you've got to make him think. Feints, angles yourself, power, which Campbell has got. Campbell's got to hit him early, but just to make Lomachenko, because I think the more Luke Campbell gets in that fight, the better chance he's got. You know,
to give you a tenner, Eddie, where would you stick it?
Well, you know, you're always going to stick it on the big favourite, you know. But if I want value, I'm backing Luke Campbell in the fight, because it's not like you're backing a horse that can't win. You're backing a horse that's got a great chance. But, you know, I'm not. Again, you have to be real as well. But I believe his prep's been great. I believe he's one of the best fighters on the planet. I believe he has power. He's tall. He's focused his mind resigned to this being his ultimate moment, and he knows that if he beats Lomachenko, he's cracked it. I mean, he's like all of a sudden he's pound for pound. If you beat pound for pound number one, do you become pound for pound number one? I don't know, but you're right up there. So there's a lot to play for, and he's been in the game now a while. A huge amateur career, but even as a pro, he's been floating around for a while. Lost to Mendy on a fight he shouldn't have been in. He was just all over the place in the preparation for that fight. Come back, beat him, box Linares. His dad passed away a week before the fight. Head was all over the place. Nearly beat him. Come back, beat Mendy in the rematch. Looked great in Philadelphia last time. This is his moment. So listen, but sometimes you can't see a way that a fighter can win. You sort of geese it. Yeah, he can do it. Or how? Can he knock him out? No. Can he outbox him? No. But with Luke, I know he's got the power to hurt Lomachenko, and I know he's got the ability to box with him. Is he technically as good as Lomachenko? No. Who is? No one. Does he punch harder than Lomachenko? Yes. Does he have bigger reach than Lomachenko? Yes. Is he bigger? Yes. But you're facing the Matrix. Yeah, really good.
Just last thing with Fury and Povetkin as well. Whoever wins, what would you be looking at next year?
Well, I mean, I think either fighter, whoever wins, is in a massive position. More to lose for Povetkin in that he's already there, isn't he? I mean, he's regarded as a top 5 heavyweight in the world, really, certainly top 10. With Huey, I love the fact that Huey's taken his fight. People saying, "What are you doing? What's he got to lose?" All right, if he loses to Povetkin, he comes back in another fight. If he wins, he's up there, top 5 heavyweight in the world. So the madness, I'm starting to think this could be a genius move. More pressure on Povetkin. I think people presume Povetkin will be too powerful, too strong, will overawe him. But Huey's awkward. He can't afford just to box like that, like he did against Parker, against Povetkin, because he will stalk him and he will hurt him. He punches harder than Parker does, and I can't wait for that fight.
He's another guy with 2 defeats, questionable.
What happened?
He won the Parker fight.
Yeah, exactly. That was a very close fight. And he went. It was in Bulgaria. So I think he's a big talent.
Do you want to quickly talk about the undercard anyway? We're finishing off.
Yeah, on the Saturday.
Sorry.
Yeah, great card. I mean, you got Charlie Edwards against Martinez. A lot of people don't really know about that fight, but Martinez just knocked out Andrew Selby to become mandatory. Punches very, very hard. In Mexico, they were saying they think he's going to beat Charlie Edwards. I see that fight as a 60-40 fight for Charlie Edwards. I think it's a really, really tough fight. Boatsy back, on the back of watching Yard Kovalev at the weekend. It was great. I mean, I just think that it was because of the matchmaking of Yard over the years. They didn't really give himself much chance to win that fight, even though he might have been 10 seconds away from winning that fight. But when you fight fighters that Yard's boxed at that level, it's very, very difficult to jump in against Kovalev. And Kovalev is not the fighter he once was, at all. But he obviously still a very good fighter. But I think too many people are giving too much stick to Yard and to Tunde. Tunde is very unorthodox in his approach. I don't think much of the instructions on Saturday was actually telling him what to do, rather than just telling him he's a lion in a camp, which don't really win you fights.
Do you believe that he didn't spar it? Did you ever know the fact that he sparred before?
It wouldn't surprise me. I believe he's sparred, but I think they do minimal sparring, which is worrying. But again, as much as you want to criticise Tunde, he has taken a fighter with no amateur experience to nearly winning a world title. But he needs to bring people in. He needs to start sparring. He needs to, but I'd rather not criticise. I'd rather say, when you look back on it, he didn't really win a round, many rounds, other than the 8th round. But he was, when he went back to corner, Buddy McGirt said to him, "I'm going to pull you out, Kovalev, unless you show me something." So that's how close he was to winning the fight. He just blew his own gasket in the 8th round, and he was exhausted. And the knockout reminded me a little bit of Michael Watson against Nigel Benn, where it was just a hard jab, and it weren't even. It was. I'm not saying it was a nothing shot, but it was a shot that in the first round he would have. Yeah, exactly. So I hope that defeat hasn't taken too much out of him physically, because it was a grueling defeat, and he was hurt badly in that fight. A lot of people saying he should have been pulled out the round before. It's hard when you've nearly had a guy stop 2 rounds ago, and you just hope, but
You're fantasy boxing, Eddie.
Well, Boatsi against Yard is a great fight. Boatsi beats Yard and Kovalev, in my opinion, and having watched that on Saturday, never been more confident. But
Matthew Martin said exactly.
Yes, but we need to do what they didn't do, which is to give those tests between the level he's at the moment and Kovalev. Right? Ford is one guy, he'll give rounds, but there's still a level above that before you get to World Championship level that you have to explore and experience before you're ready. If they would have given Yard those fights, that might have been Jose Burton. All those fights that he didn't take, if he would have taken those fights, maybe when the big opportunity come around, he'd be ready. But still did brilliant.
Is that what you would look at for Boatsi, providing he gets to on Saturday?
Yeah, I think the guys like Blake Caparello, a couple of other guys in the top, Charles Foster's a guy, top 10 guys in the WBA, World Championship eliminator before, because once you fight Bivol, Kovalev, Beterbiev, there's no turning back, mate, so you better be ready. They didn't want the Kovalev fight. Yard, Tunde, Warren, the money was too much for them to turn down. But unfortunately, they haven't been matched properly on the way there. And Caldina against Gwyn, all Welsh fight for the British lightweight title on Saturday as well. Great little fight, yeah, a little bit of needle and plenty of bragging rights.
Absolutely, right. Newcastle edition.
Yes.
Right, our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
First of all, top of Dave Allen, surprise addition to the press.
Yeah, he just sort of got on to me straight away and said, can I box in Newcastle? Every fighter that we represent wants to box in Newcastle because of the atmosphere. So I said, if you're fit and you're healthy, because don't forget that he was carried out of the ring last time. It wasn't too long ago. Yeah, but what he's shown me since then is he's been in the gym every day. He looks great. Mentally, he's right. He'll get cleared physically as well, and he ain't going to be in a David Price, a Luis Ortiz, or he's going to be in a fight against a decent fighter over 8 rounds. See what he's got left, get a win, and see where he's going for his career. But I think that any time he asks me to box on a bill, I'm willing to have him on. I think at the press conference, people don't realise that although he's a joker, he's actually quite an intelligent guy. He speaks really well. I thought his chat at the press conference was one of the highlights, but he's done really well. He's done really well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cheeseman against Fitzgerald.
Great fight. Yeah, brilliant fight. Again, 2 guys I represent. Don't want to see either of them lose, but as a fan, I can't wait for that fight. I think if Fitz can deliver the same form that he showed against Fowler, he's a favourite in that fight. But then you've got to think about Cheeseman's championship experience. Last 3 fights have all gone 12 rounds, all quite grueling. He's getting hit too much. You can't afford to get hit like that against Fitzgerald. Punches very hard. But if he can weather that, and if he can move his head, can Fitz survive in deep water? Did look tired in a Fowler fight, but did do the 10 rounds. But this will be at a different kind of pace. So again, it's a brilliant domestic fight. I can't wait for it.
If Cheeseman wins, what would you look next?
Back at European. This is a clinch fight of his career, really. I think you can't really look past a fight like this, but it's going to be a war.
If Fitzgerald wins, would you be looking for Fowler straight away?
Yeah, I'm not sure he would, but certainly Fowler wants the winner. But obviously when you've beaten a guy like Fitz has, would you want to take that rematch? The answer is if the money's right, because he might be looking to go on and do more.
The main card.
Yeah, great fight. Yeah, good beef, good build up. It's just what you want. You want a little bit of needle. You want both guys to leave here today a little bit fuming, getting in the gym, training like an animal because they want to rip the other guy's head off. That's boxing, and that's what sells. That's why we're going to sell this place out, because it's a great fight, great domestic fight. Yeah, because when we boxed Patera, we done 8,000, 9,000. No one knew who Patera was. Do you know what I mean? There was no beef. It was just some bloke from Belgium or Italy, and it turned out he was a really good fighter, and now goes on, he's a world-class fighter. But with this one, he's a scouser. There is that beef. It's a big domestic fight, and it's going to sell really well.
Can you clear up the arguments that they had over you?
Yeah. So basically, sometimes a fighter doesn't realise about the conversations that are had on their behalf, and that's not anything done untoward. That's a conversation with a manager who says Robbie ain't ready to make 10 stone in Liverpool, right? So when he says it weren't put to me, because he weren't ready, and they didn't want a championship fight at that time. That's why he weighed 10.6 or whatever he weighed, right? So Ritson would have taken that fight. Robbie Davis would have taken that fight on the right notice. There wasn't enough notice. Ritson was up for that fight. Said I'll fight him in Liverpool. And when it was put to Neil Marsh, it wasn't even entertained because it was impossible. So, but it gets Robbie Davis's back up. Oh, I would have said, well, you couldn't have made a weight. Yeah, but so no one asked me. No, they didn't, because they're acting in your best interests to say you can't make the weight, so we're not taking that fight. But he kind of quashes that by coming to Ritson's backyard. So you can't say that he's not up for fighting Ritson. He's coming in. Yeah.
Should be a cracking fight.
Be a great fight, great night, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Lovely. 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Can I just chuck some names at you?
Yeah, sure.
Callum Smith.
Yeah. Spoke to him, looking to fight October time. Really, we're talking now to Liverpool about a big fight at Anfield in May next year. The problem area is really this next fight, because obviously we've got Saunders, we've got Golovkin, you've got Canelo on the zone, you've got Andrade, you've got Danny Jacobs, but really most of them are booked up for this year, so we've got to get him out. The World Boxing Super Series was so good and so bad for Callum. The bad was his profile suffered. The good was he came out as world champion and made a lot of money. So he wants those big fights, and we can deliver them in Anfield next year.
And Dillian Whyte, any update?
No, only that there's a UCAD, I think, like a final hearing to, put everything out. I believe that's in October. I've not been there.
The B sample,
The B sample, but the B sample, I don't know the situation. Forget the B sample. The B sample will be what the A sample was. Like, that doesn't change. This is what I keep getting tweets. What about the B sample? It's like, that's irrelevant. What's found is found, and generally 99.9% of times. But it's what was found. How was it found? How much was it found? And these are all the things that will come out. Again, about Dillian Whyte is he was cleared to fight. Do you think UCAD would have let him fight if they felt that he was cheating or he had something in him that was performance enhancing? No, they wouldn't have. They can't do that. So they didn't. So find out why. But everyone now's got to be really careful on their behalf and Dillian's, because the next statement or the overriding ruling will be the thing that everybody has to ingest to give their opinion of Dillian Whyte. If you think Dillian Whyte cheated, his career's over. But understand, if he cheated, they wouldn't have let him fight. So,
doing anything, Eddie, do you know what the statement probably is going to have?
I think he'll be completely cleared, in my opinion. And if he is, I hope everyone gives him the respect to say, all right, fair enough, because they wouldn't have let him fight. I said this to like Yvonne Michelle, people like that. You have to understand, if UCAD believed that he cheated or he had performance-enhancing drugs in his system, there would have been no fight. Okay.
The glove guy.
Yeah. Oh, Russ Amber.
Yeah. Russ Amber. Sorry.
Yeah.
Russ Amber telling us that the gloves weren't checked and he was still not.
The situation with Russ has been. This is a situation. I think Russ has got a point on that.
Yeah.
Dillian Whyte didn't attend the rules meeting. He said to his trainer, "You go in and try the gloves for me." Tried the gloves. Everyone's hand's different, right? There was a problem with, I think, the thumb. Put the gloves on in the change room. Couldn't get them on. Right? So all of a sudden, everyone's running around backstage. He's got a pair of gloves that he can't get on. Right? He then has another set of gloves that the British Boxing Board of Control look at, the WBC approve, and he puts them on. The problem is, Russ Amber never got to look at them before. In a rules meeting, if I was fighting you, our team could look at your gloves, just have a little look. In this instance, the board and the WBC looked at and approved the gloves. So it wasn't like he just pulled a pair of gloves out of his bag, slipped it on and went to the ring. The board and the WBC approved it. In my opinion, they should have let Russell have a look. But unfortunately, there was about 5 minutes to go. Everyone's running around backstage. You can't get a glove on. Sky's saying, come on, you've got to walk. So it's not always as easy as it seems. If Russ Amber, what's he saying? That there was like the gloves. He's not even saying.
He said that the team realists never saw the gloves.
That's correct. But what I'm saying is he's not saying that there was something untoward with the gloves. He's just saying we never got to see him. He's quite correct. But there was nothing untoward with the gloves because the board and the WBC both check the gloves and confirm they are fit to use.
Sorts that one. Eddie, we'll probably see you during the week.
Look forward to it.
All
Cheers,
right,
mate.
take care.
Thank
See
you.
Johnny, bye.